Hey guys, Megan here with REACHRIGHT. Today we are going to walk you through how to set up your Google Ad Grants account for success. At REACHRIGHT, we serve hundreds of clients, churches and nonprofits with their Google Ad accounts. And what we're doing is helping them to get as much out of their grant as possible. You have that $10,000 a month budget, and we want to show you how to get set up, how we set up our accounts. So let's get started. All right, so if you are at this step, that means that you have already been awarded your Google Grant account. So I've just received this email for a client that we just got approved for the Google Grant. We are going to log into the grants account. When you first log in, you've got terms and conditions to go over. So we're just going to accept those and click submit. Now I'm just gonna walk you through the process of how we set up our campaigns. With a grant account, you have a campaign, which is like your overarching umbrella for your account. This is where you set your budget, your location targeting, all of that good stuff. And then we're going to add in some ad groups. Ad groups are more of like an organizational purpose. So we're gonna separate some ad groups where we're gonna target different things. So for instance, we're gonna target events, or for another ad group, we're gonna target find a church near me. And within those ad groups are keywords. So there's a lot that's involved in this grant account, which is why we wanna help our clients get the most out of those. So since I just accepted those terms and conditions, this is gonna go away. All right, so now I'm just gonna go into the dashboard where it's kind of just the setup process. Now Google is pretty helpful. It is gonna kind of walk you through every step, but with your grant account, there are a lot of rules and regulations. So because we are the professionals and have been doing this for a long time, we know the ins and outs of these accounts, but let's get you through the setup process. So we're gonna set up a new campaign. This church that we're working with today is a big church in the California area, the Los Angeles area. So we've got, they have a great website, so we've got a lot to work with. For your grant account, these are going to be required to have your objective as website traffic. Now there are gonna be some other things that you might say, oh, well, we want leads, but for most of our accounts that are churches or even nonprofits, most of your goals are going to be website traffic. We want to generate traffic to your website so that people can read about who you are, what you're doing, what's your mission, and then take the next step of getting involved in what you're doing. All right, for your campaign type, your Google Grant account does have to be a search account. And then we're gonna just add in the business's website. So I've got it pulled up here. We're gonna wanna just grab that URL. We're gonna paste that right there. We do have to have conversion goals. So later on, we will get this church set up with Google Analytics if they don't have it already. This is gonna be a requirement for your grant. That is how Google tracks what are people doing on your website after they click on an ad. But for now, we're just gonna go with a page view. And then for our setup here, we are going to name this campaign. You can obviously name your campaign whatever you would like to. And we're gonna leave this box checked. We're gonna agree and continue. And we're just gonna go through the steps here. So for bidding on your grant account, maximize conversions is your goal. There are other goals in here like clicks, but for your grant account, the requirement is conversion. So we're gonna leave that. We're not gonna set a target cost per conversion. We're gonna go pretty basic here. With your grant account, you'll notice I cannot click to be in the search network or the display network, so we're just gonna leave those. Now for our locations, depending on what your goals are for your ministry or your nonprofit, most of the time we're gonna need to be location based. So for instance, this is a church. We want to target people coming in to visit the church. So we're not gonna wanna open this up to the entire world. We're not even gonna wanna open it up to the USA or Canada or just the United States. We're gonna wanna target local. So we're gonna click here. We're gonna go to an advanced search. I'm gonna go to this website. Let's check and see what their address is. They're actually in Chatsworth, California, which is just a suburb. So my location is going to be Chatsworth. Now you'll notice that for like whatever location you are located in, your reach might be really big because you're in a really big metroplex, or it might be really small. So for all of our clients, we're gonna target the location. that they're actually located in, and then we're gonna actually blow up a radius around it. So again, this is gonna vary per account, but for this one, I'm gonna do a 40-mile radius around Chatsworth. So we're gonna target that, and it's actually gonna blow this up and show you where we're at. So as long as I see that I've grabbed all of, if I'm next to a major city, I wanted to make sure that I grabbed LA. There's Thousand Oaks and Santa Clarita. So I wanted to make sure that we got all of those. If you think that's too big, you might go down to 30, whatever, or you might need to broaden that out a little more. But for this specific account, we're gonna stay with our 40-mile radius and just click save. So it's gonna show us our targeted areas here. Languages we're leaving because we're gonna want those ads in English, and we're not translating any languages here. Broad match keywords we're gonna leave on. I'm sorry, we're gonna leave off, meaning if I want specific keywords and matched, then I'm gonna change that. But for this, we're just gonna leave those off. Now here's where the fun stuff starts. Here's where we're actually adding in an ad group. We're naming it. We're adding in all of our keywords. This is where all of the research, keyword research comes into play. So we've done a lot of keyword testing. So I'm actually gonna just copy and paste in the keywords that we use on a lot of our accounts for our first couple ad groups. These are gonna be pretty generic ad groups. So we're looking at a lot of keywords. Now, the more keywords you add in an account, the more traffic you might generate on that ad, because as people are going to Google to say church near me or find me a church in LA, if you've got those keywords in your account, it's gonna possibly get your ad queued up to show in a Google search. So you really wanna add more keywords, but with your grant account, you may not have single keywords or single word keywords. So that takes away all the generic. We don't wanna just say Jesus or Bible. That would get a lot of traffic because people would be saying, who is Jesus or what is Jesus? So we don't want to have words like that. So you'll see Google actually kind of gives you some examples here of things they think might help you. Here's some keywords that we suggest, but I'm gonna name this ad group Church General, meaning this is my ad group where people are just find a church near me. All right, so here I'm just gonna copy and paste in this giant list of keywords that we have tested. We're gonna delete all these and paste this in. Now I'm gonna have to go in and do a couple little changes as far as location is concerned here. All right, so once you have your keywords in there that you're wanting to use, you can always add more, you can always take some away later, but I've got my list that I wanna use in here. So we're gonna scroll down, and then here it's gonna actually walk us through how to create an ad. This is the fun part. So it's gonna show us a preview over here on the corner. So this is actually what my ad is going to look like. So you'll notice it's got the URL here. If I added in like an about page, it's gonna show it right up here. This is gonna pull in headlines. So you'll see down here, it's kind of added a couple just to say, hey, do you wanna use these? 3 of them are required. Now we're gonna wanna take this ad strength up here. It's poor right now because we literally have nothing in this ad. We're gonna take it from poor and we're gonna wanna make it at least good or excellent if we can. The way we do that is by adding a lot of headlines here. Now you'll see we have a lot of headlines to pull or to use. Now you are restricted by your character. We have 30 characters to use. So sometimes I'll be like, oh, let's use this, and then it's gonna be too long. So we need to adjust. For our clients, we are gonna wanna use content from their website. So we are gonna pull straight from their website the language that they use. We're gonna use their tagline. We're gonna wanna use some of the headlines and stuff that they use on their own church, because the point of an ad is to say, hey, this website exists, you've never heard of it, you've never seen this organization before, let's drive you here, and then you're gonna find the same content on the website, so Google likes that. So for instance here, I'm gonna leave Freedom Church because that's obviously the name of the church. Plan your visit, yes, do that. Jesus, people, the city, that is their tagline that is in their tab here, so I'm actually gonna leave that. Some of these other ones will be a little bit more generic. Join us for service. You obviously can add whatever ones you feel comfortable with, whatever fit the need of your organization. So give me a second and we're gonna type all these in. All right, now that I've finished typing in as many headlines as I would like to do, you'll see that my ad strength already went from poor to good. So we're already making progress. And up here, you'll notice that these ads are rotating. Google is going to choose 2 headlines to make a combination, and this is going to vary and be based on what did that person type in. So if they're searching for something and they used one of the keywords here, it might show them one of the keywords that's in the account within the headline, because it's trying to grab that attention and say, oh, this is what you're looking for, here's the same thing. Now you'll notice that this is the description underneath. So we're going to scroll down here, and it's of course again added something in there for you. If we like what it says, keep it. If you don't, let's change it. So give me a sec and let's type some of those in. All right, so I've added some descriptions. You're required to have 2. I've added 4. Again, it's going to jumble those around and kind of show those as needed. So now what we're gonna wanna do is add in some extras. We're gonna wanna make your ad as big and as great as possible. So we're gonna add some site links. Now they've suggested some here, but I am going to create my own. So what a site link is you'll see once we add the first one, it's kind of saying that there are going to be extra links underneath this ad that will point you to different pages on your website. So we would want to choose pages that we want to send people to. So a good one would be the About Us page. This is their I'm New page. This is their video of how this church got started, who they are. Here's the pastor and his wife. And then it has the FAQ. So there's some stuff, you know, okay, what time is church? What do you have for my kids? All that good information that someone's gonna wanna know. We're gonna type in the URL there, your site link text, and so you'll see it's gonna pop up right here. All this is again, if they don't click on the ad itself here, like the headline, they might actually click straight here and be sent to that page. So we're just gonna kind of give them some extra meat, some extra content to use. All right, so I've gone through and snagged 4 site links that I want to use, and so you can see those here. I did their About Us page, their kids, youth, and online service. So we're just gonna create those. Okay, and you'll see the ads, you know, the ad there is getting bigger. There's our site links there. Now we're gonna add some call outs. Call outs are kind of things that you want someone to know right away if they're just reading and haven't made it to the website. So we're gonna say things like, we are in person and online. What makes your church special? So you'll see that it actually just added down here. Everything I'm typing says it right past those descriptions. Again, just adds more meat to that ad. When you look at more asset types here, what else can we add? If we want to track calls from ads, you can. So I'm actually going to add their phone number. You don't have to add a phone number. This is literally, it shows you right here. This would be where someone could just push call. So if your church doesn't have a phone number, or you don't have an answering service, or you don't want to make that accessible, you don't have to. A structured snippet is something that we would want to add. So I'm going to pop in here. Now your type has to fit. It's going to ask you, like, you know, what are you adding? Are we adding an amenity? If this was like a school, or, you know, you could say these are the degree programs that we offer. Most of the time for a church, I'm just gonna say that these are amenities. So you'll see here the examples are like free Wi-Fi, there's a pool and a fitness center. Again, mine is going to be family worship, whatever you think your church needs to say as far as another edition of what makes your church special, that someone's going to read here and go, oh, okay, they've got kids and youth services. All right, so once you decide what those snippets fit for you, you can create those. We're going to save those. If you do have an app that you'd like to add, you can actually click the apps link here. It's going to ask you to put your Android or iOS app link, and then it'll actually have the apps there, which is kind of cool. This specific client doesn't have that, so I'm just going to skip on by. Now we're just going to kind of look over everything. So our ad strength is good. If we wanted to get it excellent, we obviously, you can see here, you can go add more keywords, which I actually am going to do. All right, so you'll see that we just went to the excellent category. So now that my ad is where I want it, I'm reviewing it right here just to make sure that everything is correct. Once you make an ad, you can obviously edit it later, but it goes under review anytime you make an edit. If you forgot to add a period, if you misspelled something, it's going to pause the ad that's already been running and it's going to restart it. It has to go under review by Google. So we want to try to eliminate that as much as possible. So this ad looks just the way I want it. I'm going to click next, and now it's going to actually review everything that I've done. So with your Google Grant account, you are you have that $10,000 a month budget. The way that that's broken down is a daily budget. So to get that number, your grant is set at $329 a day. If you hit $329 a day, then you would max out at that $10,000 a month. So this is saying, like, right now, if I set my budget for $329, using the estimations of the keywords that we've added, et cetera, it's gonna let us know that our weekly cost could potentially be $2,300, which is awesome. So now we're gonna go ahead and say next. It's going to review, it's checking for errors, it's making sure that everything is correct. Now, because this is gonna give us a thing here, because we are using religious keywords, these are gonna get flagged. No big deal. We are going to request an exemption. So if you actually went in and read, because it says, Christian church, we've used the word Christian a lot. Google's not opposed to that, but there are certain countries that are, like Russia. So because of that, it's just saying, hey, just to let you know, you can't advertise in certain countries. The United States is fine, and that's all where we're going. So we're just gonna request an exemption, and we are gonna click next. It's just reviewing that budget again. And now our campaign, you'll see, is ready to publish. We're gonna click this button up here that says, go for it. All right, publish campaign. So this is publishing my initial campaign. So you'll see over here, we have our campaign that we've named. We have our first ad group. Now with your grant account, another requirement is you do have to have 3 ad groups. So we need to hop in here and make some more. So I'm gonna do that really quick. Our accounts always start out with 3 basic ad groups. We do the church general, which is the find a church. We do an event-based ad group, which are targeting people that are looking for things to do in the area. And then we do a 3rd ad group, which is based on branding. We want to know if people in your area already knew who you were or know about your church name. And so those are just for organizational purposes. And then each of those ad groups, again, are going to have a completely separate keyword group. So let's go make those. We'll do the event one. If your website has like an event page or a calendar, then I would probably link to that. I don't think this specific church does. If they don't have a calendar or an event page, then we're just gonna link to their homepage because they do show some events on there, which is totally fine. And again, I've already got keywords that I wanna use, so I'm just gonna pop those in here. All right, so save and continue. Again, it's gonna take us right back to that ad that we need to look at. So if I was gonna change the final URL that this ad is gonna be sent to, I would do that right here. It would be like /events or /calendar. Because it's the homepage, I'm gonna leave it. Now, some of these keywords I'm gonna change because the last ad that it copied was our find a church and we're doing events. So now I'm gonna change some of these to reflect more of what this ad would be looking for. I'm also just changing a few of the descriptions, just the wording in there, because again, if someone's looking for something to do, they might not be looking specifically for a church for this account, but I don't wanna count those people out. I still wanna try to grab them. So I'm gonna change a few of these keywords. Everything else is staying the same. I'm gonna leave my site links the same. I'm gonna leave my other assets the same. So I'm just gonna save and continue. Now you'll notice that ad was poor quality. That's only because I didn't change that many keywords. That's gonna be fine for now. And now I'm gonna go in and create my 3rd ad group, which is going to be the branded ads. Again, all accounts, you might set yours up completely different. This is just what we do to get things going. So I'm just gonna do a variation of the church's name. So for some, like I said, you'll notice that every ad group that we've made so far, they have different amounts of keywords. The first one was a long list because it was pretty generic. There was more flexibility for keywords. Now I'm getting pretty specific. So what that's gonna mean is that people are going to have to, that these ads might not show as much because my keywords are fewer. I'm gonna leave this as is for now. We might come back in here and pop some new ones in here. And then I'm also going to leave some of these, I'm gonna do some editing of these headlines again. All right, we're gonna save and continue. So right now we have the bare minimum of what is required to set up an initial grant campaign. We've got our overarching campaign here, and then we have our 3 ad groups, and then each ad group contains 1 ad. As many keywords as possible on any of those, but we've got our 1 ad. So these all go under review by Google. You'll see here the policy review is in progress. It's gonna take 1 to 2 days. Now this can be maybe 24 hours. Sometimes ads have gone through and they're like, yep, these all look great, and they're live within an hour. Sometimes it is the 1 to 2 business days. But you'll see once things start going, you'll start seeing impressions, which means your ads were shown or queued up in somebody's search history. And then we'll see clicks. A click is actually what we want. A click means that you got brand new ad traffic to your website. So you'll see right here, here's our 3 ad groups. Once you start seeing some activity here, it'll actually show you here's the location, where people were searching and found us. So we've got a lot of cool information in here. But this was pretty much just the basic of introduction of how to set up your grant. If you don't know about the Google Grant yet, you are missing out. It's pretty simple. Most churches and nonprofits will qualify for that. There's a really easy way to check that out. You can go to our website, and I'll put that in the description below. And you can go to our website, answer a few simple questions to see if you would be eligible to apply for the Google Grant. This is my walkthrough on how I set up an account. This does not go into how to maximize your grant account. We have another video that'll go into great detail and take a deeper dive into maximizing your grant and use more of that $10,000 a month. Check it out.